Manitoba, photographs two separate sightings over Carmen in front of four witnesses. The first sighting occurs at approximately 10:30 p.m. The object appears to be stationary just above the ground. Then, almost simultaneous, with a flash which appears in the sky, the object moves north at blinding speed. Only when the film is later analyzed in slow motion does Carr realize what he has captured photographically. Approximately an hour later, a second sighting occurs. The object appears over a group of trees and moves from left to right at an apparently low relative altitude to the horizon. Again, slow motion analysis provides a fascinating study of this unexplained event.
Shalom, Kal Halalim La Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Racha HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of GMS who rule well, who will learn this truth from, and salutations and blessings to you elect out there, starting with 144,000 on down. So that video was titled Falcon Lake UFO, right, incident, which Falcon Lake was in Manitoba, the province in Canada, right? So this is from CBC. It says Falcon Lake incident is Canada's best documented UFO case, even 50 years later. Now this guy, Stefan Michalek, was treated at a hospital for burns to his chest and stomach that later turned into raised sores on a grid-like pattern. Right? So this guy, he got messed up by the chariots, man. What everybody's talking about now, what you people think is drones or orbs or whatever you want to call it, those are the vehicles of the Heavenly Father's armies, you know? So it says Stan Michalek can vividly remember when his dad came home sick and injured after something happened in the Falcon Lake woods in Manitoba on the May long weekend of 1967. Okay. I'm gonna skip down. So it says, when I walked into the bedroom, there was a huge stink in the room, like a real horrible aroma of sulfur and burnt motor. It was all around, and it was coming out of his pores. It was bad, said Michaluk, who co-authorized the book when they appeared with Winnipeg UFO researcher Chris Rutkowski. And this is a sketch of the craft, that they seen, or his father seen, Stefan, right? I was very afraid. My dad had been injured and I didn't know anything about it, Michalek told CBC News in recalling that Saturday 50 years earlier. So the encounter, let's skip down. It says Stefan Michalek was an industrial mechanic by trade and an amateur geologist who liked to venture into the wilderness around Falcon Lake, about 150 kilometers east of Winnipeg, to prospect for quartz and silver. He had staked some claims the prior year and set out on the May long weekend in 1967 to explore some more. On May 20th, 1967, Stefan was near a vein of quartz along the Precambrian shield in the area when the 51-year-old was startled by a gaggle of nearby geese that erupted into a clattering of honks. According to his accounts, as reported in newspapers at the time and since repeated in books, magazines, and on TV shows, Stefan looked up and saw two cigar-shaped objects with a reddish glow hovering about 45 meters away. One descended, according to Stefan's account, landing on a flat section of rock and taking on more of a disc shape. So it changed shapes, man. That's beautiful. See, so that's what these crafts, man. These this technology, of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai is otherworldly. They can retract to the size of smaller than a fly, like a fly on the wall, and they can increase in size to colossal size, as we know the father ship that's coming back. Ezra's tried to, as it says in the scriptures, Ezra's second Ezra's 13, where Ezra's tried to find the region where it was edged out of, its beginning. He couldn't. That's how big the chariot was. It was, he compared it to a mountain, and he couldn't find the region from where it was, it was cut from. So these chariots, man, they're amazing. It says the other remained in the air for a few minutes before flying off, believing it to be a secret U.S. military experimental craft. Stefan sat back and sketched it over the next half hour. Then he decided to approach, later calling the warm air and smell of sulfur as he got closer, as well as a whirring sound of motors and a hissing of air. He also noted a door open on the side with bright lights inside, and said he heard voices muffled by the sounds from the craft. He said he called out, offering mechanical help to the Yankee boys if they needed it. The voices went quiet but did not answer, so Stefan tried in his native Polish, then in Russian, and finally in German. Only the whir and hiss of the craft responded. He claims he went closer and noted the smooth metal of the ship with no seams. He then looked into the bright doorway, pulling on the welding goggles he used to protect his eyes while chipping at rocks during prospecting. Inside, Stefan said he saw light beams and panels of various colored flashing lights, but could not see anyone or any living thing. When he stepped away, 3 panels slid across the door opening and sealed it. He reached to touch the craft, which he said melted the fingertips of the gloves he was wearing. The craft then began to turn counterclockwise, and Stefan says he noticed a panel that contained a grid of holes. Shortly afterward, he was struck in the chest by a blast of air or gas that pushed him backward and set his shirt and cap ablaze. He ripped away the burning garments, as the craft lifted off and flew away. Disoriented and nauseous, Stefan stumbled through the forest and vomited. He eventually made his way back to his motel room in Falcon Lake, then caught a bus back to Winnipeg. He was treated at a hospital for burns to his chest and stomach that later turned into raised sores on a grid-like pattern, and for weeks afterwards he suffered from diarrhea, headaches, blackouts, and weight loss. So, hey man, look man, these things are about to make a big appearance on the planet. These great chariots, and Manitoba in general is a hotspot for chariots, right? More than 2,000 UFO sightings reported in Manitoba over 200 years. The word Manitoba actually is a Gaddai word, which means the straits of the Great Spirit, right? Mane, right? This word Mane or Manito means spirit or great spirit. Like you have islands here in Ontario, in northern Ontario, or an island called Manitoulin Island, right? It's the same word. Manitoulin means the great spirit, right? Referring to Yahweh, right? The Great Spirit Islands, or island of the Great Spirit. So Manitoba means the straits of the Great Spirit. So, that's spiritual. Right. So there's been over 2,000. I'm not going to read this article, but that's just a highlight to show you. And this is the same sketch, in Falcon Lake. He said he's seen a door and then he's seen lights inside. And then in that video I played, right, of that video, this was 1975. So that was 1967. This is again Falcon Lake, the same place. Right? It said it went in a flash of a light. Now we know in Ezekiel 1 and 4, NLT, I'll read it. As I looked, I saw a great storm coming from the north, driving before it a huge cloud that flashed with lightning and shone with brilliant light. There was fire inside the cloud, and in the middle of the fire glowed something like a gleaming amber. From the center of the cloud came 4 living beings that looked human. These were the angels, except that each had 4 faces and 4 wings. Their legs were straight, and their feet had hooves like those of a calf and shone like burnished bronze. Under each of their, that which is their skin color, under each of their, or appearance, I should say, they don't have like terrestrial skin, but you know what I mean. Under each of their 4 wings, I could see human hands. So each of the 4 beings had 4 faces and 4 wings. The wings of each living being touched the wings of the beings beside it. Each one moved straight forward in any direction without turning around. So they could just, they don't need to turn around. Like you're running, you got to turn. They just straight back, forward, up, down, right? They could fly, right? It says each had a human face. It's like, verse 10, each had a human face in the front, the face of a lion on the right side, the face of an ox on the left side, and the face of an eagle at the back. Each had 2 pairs of outstretched wings. One pair stretched out to touch the wings of the living beings on either side of it, and the other pair covered its body. They went in whatever direction the Spirit chose, and they moved forward in any direction without turning around. The living beings looked like bright coals of fire or brilliant torches, and lightning seemed to flash back and forth among them. And the living beings darted to and fro like flashes of lightning. So the actual angels are fast as hell. They got them celestial bodies, and they got you're looking at them. They have a shining aura of energy, of amber. They have lightning. Like in Dragon Ball Z. They show you with the Super Saiyan. You got the little jolts of lightning, and they can just they can not even sprint. That's not even the word. They can just turbo. At the speed of light, right before you. But guess what? The chariots can do the same thing. We just saw that video. Just at the speed of light. So look, man, these things are here, and they're coming to exact vengeance. This is Zechariah 5:1. Let's read it in the NLT. I looked up again and saw a flying. It's like I looked up again and saw a scroll flying through the air. In the KJV, it says a flying roll. What do you see? The angel asked. I see a flying scroll. I replied, it appears to be about 30 feet long and 15 feet wide. Then he said to me, this scroll contains the curse. Let me read in the KJV. Then said he unto me, this is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off as on this side according to it, and everyone that sweareth shall be cut off as on that side according to it. I will bring it forth, saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief, and into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name, and it shall remain in the midst of his house, and shall consume it with the timber thereof and the stones thereof. All right, so that flying roll, or in the NLT, it said scroll, which is what they were saying. It's they call it a cigar shape. Cigar is what's that shape called? Skipping my mind, but it looks like a scroll rolled up, right? But they just call it a cigar. That's that American shit, that Babylonian. Oh, that's a cigar shape. No, that's a scroll shape. It's like a tube, but then it changed into the shape of a disc, and like I was saying, Manitoba is a serious place. It's actually a very wicked place as well. You have this legislative building, the Manitoba Legislative Building, referred to as the leg, produced as ledge by locals as a hidden code in its architecture. Scholars believe that the architect hid Masonic symbolism in plain sight in various elements of the building, and of course they did, right? You have Hermes, you have that, and a pharaoh. I don't know what pharaoh or Egyptian figure that is, but that's a golden boy, which is Hermes, the son of Zeus, right? Okay, what is that? A cone, pine cone. That looks like a Greco-Roman figure, right? You got obviously this symbol. You got a lot of stuff in here. You actually have a lot. I used to have an article on this, but I lost it. But here it says at the time, and Slovakia, this is from livelearn.ca, Slovakia. At the time of the construction of the legislative building, the Manitobian government was composed entirely of Freemasons. The first Freemason in Manitoba, John Burke, arrived at the Red River Colony, which later became Winnipeg, which is the capital city of the province of Manitoba, in 1819. It says in 1864, the Northern Light Lodge was established. It was the first lodge on the prairies. Okay, so that shows you, man. Look, they have also this, which this is a Gadite on the left, and this is the Ark of the Covenant, the chest. All right, and this is clearly a Greco-Roman, an Edomite. All right, a Greco-Roman Edomite. Could be a Greek because of the hat. It doesn't really look Roman, but again, Greco-Roman fashion. This is what they have here. They have other things like this as well. I believe this is that same building, but this is this is the symbolism that they have at this building, legislative. Here's Hermes again, a bunch of Greco-Roman, right? Poseidon's trident, right? So this is a very wicked place. So that speaks more volume to the point of the fact of the many UFO sightings, what you people call UFOs. These are the chariots of Yahweh Shem Shai, and they're coming back to exact vengeance. And that guy he got burnt, man. He stepped close. He thought this was some American shit. He stepped close and he got his ass burnt, and he's smelling like sulfur. Okay, that guy got burnt up, man. He got ailments after. So these chariots ain't nothing to play with, man. That wasn't nothing American. That was no American garbage or any kind of terrestrial nonsense. That was a celestial, vehicle. All right, and they're coming back. Actually, let me end it off on this. They're coming back, man. This is Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 20. His severe wrath shall he sharpen for a sword, and the world shall fight with him against the unwise. Then, now I believe that word world here, I used to have Apocrypha concordance or lexicon, and I looked up this word and it's cosmos. Okay, so we know what that means. That's John 3:16, cosmos. We know what world, the world of Israel, pertaining to the book of Isaiah. That's in the book of Isaiah, the world of Israel. Let me actually get that. Just the world of, no, world without, hold on. Yeah. This Isaiah 45:17. But Israel shall be saved in the Lord Yahweh with an everlasting salvation. Ye shall not be ashamed nor confounded, world without end. Right? That's the world it's talking about. It says, then shall the right aiming thunderbolts go abroad, and from the clouds, as from a well-drawn bow, shall they fly to the mark. See? Now let me get this in the GNT. It says, verse 21, bolts of lightning will strike right on target, as if the Lord had made a bow out of the clouds and was shooting arrows. Right? So the right aiming thunderbolts or bolts of lightning is referring to what people call lasers, but it's really just concentrated fire, like when you watch War of the Worlds. They were just shooting, and it was hitting the targets. It was hitting the people, disintegrating and turning them into sulfur. So that's what it's going into. Okay. So anyway, I hope you're edified with that. Kal halalim la Yahweh, Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem Racha HaKodash, Shalom to the elect.